Okay, I wonder if we can take a look at creating a new possibility. I keep getting a little message from Facebook. I don't know what it is. This new possibility that I speak of is peace on earth, starting with internal peace for you, for each of us. And by new, I mean not ever having been before. New, something new. The description of this and the conversation about it is really difficult because it means that if a new possibility is to be born, then the old needs to die. So what I'm suggesting here is for a new consciousness that has no violence in it, is to be born, is to be manifested, then the old must die, all of it. So is it possible for you to create a new possibility? Now here's the secret to it. We don't need a whole lot of people to do this, what I'm speaking of, because creation is, well, some would call it God, and there's all of that nonsense going on about it. But creation is the bringing forth from nothing. And then the intelligence holds what has been created so that truth can deliver it. Truth is the bridge between knowledge and creation, if you will. So the exact number can't be known, obviously, for critical mass. We've spoken of this before together, but my guess is the number of people who create a new consciousness who would do that, I mean, is small. It's not nearly as large as perhaps you would consider. The distinction, however, is this. To create a new consciousness, all of the old consciousness must die within you, all of it. I've been speaking of these things for 41 years and I haven't figured out how to speak about them yet. Even figuring out is kind of a silly thing to say, because that means to say I'm using my thoughts to know what to do. So what I'm suggesting here is whether you are on one side or the other, you are violent and you are promoting violence. Because only one thing, it's not like blame. It means to say that you have accepted the violence of your past. And I'm suggesting that we can negate the violence of the past and create a new you. A new you. The individual. Not the collective necessarily, not China and Japan and all of America and all of those places that we have divided ourselves into. I'm speaking with, to. I had to use the word to because that's the normal. Normally you say talk to you or speak to. What I care to do, however, is to speak with, which means collectively to bring us together and speak with one another, which means you don't agree, you don't disagree, you simply speak with each other to discover each other. The problem is this. No matter, as I just said before, no matter which side of the pendulum as it swings that you choose, you are on the side of violence. You are on the side of continuing the raping of women. You are on the side of war, killing, maiming, misogynistic racism. So to be against misogynistic racism is the same as to be for it, is what I'm suggesting here. Because they both end up causing racism and misogynistic actions. Because they both are in the same consciousness. There's a whole group of people talk about, I think it's Zen or some group of people that talk about the opposites, something about the opposites. I don't know what that get. I lost whatever that is. So what I'm suggesting here is this. Either we negate, we protest internally against all of that which we have become, on the day of, what is today? I don't know. 2/21 of 21. 2/21 of 21. We need to negate, erase all of that which transpired before 2/21 of 21. All religion, all countries, all labels, all of that. Now here's what happens if you're able to negate our past. It leaves a blank space from which to create our future. Because here's the thing I'd like for you to consider. Knowledge, thought, and belief has brought us to where we are now. I just realized the little heater thing kicked on behind me, so I hope that's not too much of a hindrance for you to be listening. So knowledge, thought, and belief, after thousands of years, has brought us to where we are right now, 2/21 of 21. Please consider, please listen. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it a third time, any solution that knowledge, thought, and belief invents to solve the problem that knowledge, thought, and belief has caused, guess what? It's only going to increase make worse the problem, because the knowledge, thought, and belief that caused it cannot fix it. It can only greaten it, make it worse. Ask Einstein. I think Einstein said something like that. The thought that created. Anyway, thought cannot create. So here's my question. Is it possible for you to create a new possibility? Now keep in mind, you need to be outside of knowledge, thought, and belief in order to create. The manner in which you do that is you create creation first, and then you have a place to create from. And even that is a false proposition, but only after you do it. You see, because then after you do it, it's done, and then it's no longer valid. It's no longer a possibility. Unless you pass the possibility on, so that the next person can create creation, create internal peace, to be internally free. And from that space of internal peace, being internal free, they can then create a collective world where there's no war, where there's no rapes, where there's no grabbing them, there's no all of that nonsense. See? I wonder if you see this possibility that is being presented. I don't know. I do see, by the way, that I'm failing at passing it along. And that's not a big deal, because actually the only thing that's needed is a few alive, aware, transformed people who no longer support any part of what has transpired before 2/21 of 2021. That's the important ingredient that you might need to consider adding to your life. The ending of the old is the only manner in which you can allow the new to manifest. Evolution is right now, in this instant, 2/21 of 21 at whatever time it is, 7:18 in the evening. It's available. Evolution of your mind, evolution of our planet, the ending of violence, the ending of kill, maim, murder, war, and rape is possible right now in this instant. Will you create it? Or will you continue living in your knowledge, thought, and belief-filled world? The only manner in which to discover this that I'm saying is to not agree with it, not disagree with it, simply to test it. Reminds me of what's that fellow's name? Well, his real name is Peter. I can't remember his Pal Talk name. The one error, I use the word very delightfully, error, because it worked in his 100% fail. Is he tested it. That's what I really ask for you to throw caution to the wind and test it. Because you see, what I'm speaking comes from creation, intelligence, and truth. And I'm sending it across the void, this great big divide, huge divide. Takes millions of years, or millions of, to traverse this millions of miles in between these two dimensions. I hear a lot of people talk about, is there other, there is the actual dimension of godliness, if you happen to be in that venue, of actual reality. There is that dimension available. However, the thing that it requires is openness, to be open. Now, to be open has one requirement. You can't believe anything. You cannot believe anything. You can't believe in the sky fairy up there. You can't believe that snakes can talk. You can't believe that water walking winemakers can whatever, all that stuff. You can't believe in Muhammad. Is it Muhammad Ali? I think it's Muhammad Ali. Isn't that the Muslim guy, Muhammad Ali? No, wait a minute. That's the boxer, isn't it? Anyway, you can't believe in Muhammad. You can't believe in that Zen nonsense. Who's that big big-bellied fellow? They call him, what is it, Buddha? You can't believe in that Osho guy or Krishnamurti, or can't believe in any of that. All of it has to disappear, be eradicated, erased, because a new way of being, that which has no violence included, can only manifest from nothing. No thing, which is creation, by the way. That's something, isn't it? It might put a name on it, but it doesn't tell you what it is, because you have to discover what it is. I wish I'd have turned that heater off. I don't know whether it's bothering this transmission or not. However, it's been 18 minutes and 30 some seconds, so probably there's nobody left listening anyway, so we'll let the heater run. I'll sign off with this question. Would you, could you, and will you consider creating a new you, creating a world where women can't be raped, or wouldn't be raped, not that they can't be, where they wouldn't be, where fights don't occur, where religious preachers don't make millions and millions of dollars selling God to you. They ride around in their airplanes and their yachts and their houses all over the world because they sell God to you, and they don't have to buy God. They don't even have nothing have to buy. They just pull something out of, here, buy this. God said, see? Anyway, I'm going too far now. Perhaps consider, with me, if you will, creating a new you. Void, that means missing, violence at your core.